Good evening, all, and welcome to another Whippin' Chat. I'm here with Mackenzie.
Hello.
And it is Sunday night, so you can tell we have no life because we're diamond painting.
Who wants one of those?
I know.
Certainly not me.
We're focused on Mackenzie's diamond painting because I'm still working on Becky's birthday present, which I don't want her to see.
As you can see, I've finished my beautiful dark fairy.
Which I'm not showing on camera because it has spiders on it.
Yeah, she's up in my room already waiting to be hung.
Spiders are disgusting. As my roommate knows well where, because she killed one in the shower tonight.
Just because I didn't feel like putting clothes back on to chase it out.
And because you knew I'd probably set the house on fire if I
If I took it outside.
If I found a spider in the shower, I'd probably set the house on fire.
Probably. And I wasn't getting dressed to, catch it and take it outside. So I consented and killed one.
Yeah.
Besides, we don't get bugs in the bathroom, so it really had no need to be there. It would have starved to death anyway.
It's a rare occasion that we have spiders in our bathroom.
Yeah, it is.
It's a rare occasion we have spiders in our house.
Yes.
Except when I don't dust and there's a ton of cobwebs.
Well, they come in, but then they leave when they realize they're not getting any food in here.
We don't even get ants.
Not inside.
Not inside.
They're piling up outside again now.
Yeah, well, that's the nice thing about them starting pest control.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure you all don't really care about our housing situation.
Yeah.
I thought tonight it would be fun. I know in Laura Law's live last week, I was talking a little bit about some experiences I had when I lived in Florida and went to college. And it was definitely an experience, and I went to college there, and it was not your normal college life. It was anything but. So I thought I would tell you all some stories about what it was like going to what we named fondly the concentration camp.
I've probably heard a lot of these stories, but I might not have heard all of them.
Yes, the school's name was Pensacola Christian College, PCC, so we nicknamed it Pensacola Concentration Camp. And it was a very strict, it was non-denominational, but it follows the lines of Southern Baptist beliefs. So it's very legalistic, very rigid, very controlling. So they basically controlled everything you did during your waking hours, and as adults they controlled when you went to bed, when you got up, the dining room was only open during certain times, so you had to go to meals during those times. It was worse than living at home because think about a normal college student's bedroom. If you never went to college, you've seen what it looks like on TV. Or if you know me, look at my house. I'm a little bit of a slob.
She is. That was really tough for me to learn to live with.
But I'm not a horrible, horrible slob.
No. If it were worse, I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
Because you know how I am.
I'm a pack rat, is what I am. I'm a pack rat.
And I have always been everything needs to have a place, it needs to be in that place, and you keep things clean and dust-free and picked up constantly.
You're not like that anymore.
No, I've gotten lax about it.
That's
although if I lived on my own, I'd probably get right back into the habit.
That's because you're always diamond painting now.
Yeah. Or at work.
Anyway.
For now.
So, if you can imagine what a normal college student's room looks like, It's cluttered, it's messy, there's clothes all over. Sometimes it's disgusting, but not always. This wasn't allowed at this college. We had to make our beds.
Yeah, I don't do that.
We had to take the trash out every single day. We had to clean the bathroom up every single day. We had to clean the shower once a week, which I appreciated. I did appreciate that because we had 8 people using our shower. So I appreciated that they did make us clean the shower once a week because otherwise it would have been really disgusting. But it just, and then twice a semester they would do what they called white glove, which is exactly what it sounds like. It was a deep clean, and they would come in and they would inspect. Now they did daily and weekly inspections too. They would inspect the shower weekly. They would check every morning to make sure you took the trash out and made your bed and wiped down the sink and the mirror and the toilet of dust. And yes, you had to dust the back of the toilet.
Yeah. You typically
Every
do.
Every day.
Maybe not every day. But it's a good idea to keep
I
it
got
dust
written
free.
up so many times for that because I would forget. I would remember to empty the trash in the bathroom, but I would forget to wipe down the back of the toilet of dust. I thought the trash was more important.
Okay.
Again, with 8 girls using the bathroom.
Yeah. I've got to keep remembering that because I've never shared a home with that many people. I don't know if I could.
Yep.
It's difficult for me to share with one now.
I know.
I lived on my own for how many years?
We had chapel 4 days a week, and we had required activity on Wednesdays during chapel time. And if you missed chapel during the week, or if you missed church on Sunday, you were required to go to video chapel or video church. Yes, they recorded it, and yes, you were required to watch it. Or their favorite system, you got demerits.
We've had demerits since high school.
I didn't even get demerits in high school. I got them in college. If you missed video chapel or video church, it was 25 demerits each time. If you were sick all day Sunday, and you missed all 3 services, that was 75 demerits. If you got 75 demerits, you were immediately campused, which means you could not go off campus.
Here's a question I never thought to ask before. Were you allowed to live off campus?
As a female under the age of 23, no.
Oh, God.
Unless I was living with my parents. And since my parents didn't live in Florida, no. Whoops. One of my least favorite rules, it didn't affect me because there weren't any hurricanes when I was down there, thankfully. But you were not allowed to miss class if they were calling for a hurricane. You would get demerits. And if a hurricane did hit, you were expected to be back in class the very first day classes resumed. Even if there was storm damage where you had evacuated to. They expected you to stay on campus and take shelter. Hello, we were on the Florida Panhandle.
So they'd rather you die than miss class.
Pretty much. One of the hardest things was missing class. You would have to check in to your room, and you were only allowed to leave your room for meals. They would give you an 1.5-hour break for each meal. The rest of the day you were expected to be in your room. And they would check. 2 or 3 times throughout the day. That was hard because everybody knows that sometimes you just need a day off to catch up on laundry, chores, homework, and sure, being stuck in your room seems like a good thing, but after 12 hours, you're ready to get out.
Sounds more like a prison than a college.
Like I said, Pensacola concentration camp. If you missed, well, like any college, if you missed so many days of school, so many days of class, you would fail. Their policy was if you missed more than 2 days of class. At least that's how it was. I think that's how it was when I was there. I don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely certain.
Whereas at Penn Tech, a lot of the professors looked at it as, you're the one paying for the class. If you don't want to bother showing up, that's on you.
Right.
You're paying for a class you're not benefiting from.
If you missed 2 days of class, your grade dropped a letter, depending on how many days the class met. If you missed a week of class, your grade dropped a letter. If you missed 2 weeks of class, your grade failed. Whereas, like you said, at Penn Tech, you could miss the entire semester and just show up for exams.
Well, some of them would drop you, but most of them were like, you're the one paying for the class.
Yeah.
It's your choice whether or not you want to come. Just don't expect to pass if you don't come.
I missed half a semester of the one class before I dropped it, but he didn't drop me.
Different professors ran different ways.
Yeah.
It was always in the syllabus.
Yeah. They reserved the right to drop you, but...
Yeah.
I showed up for exams, but his lectures were boring. I didn't show up. I figured it was easier to read the text.
Yeah.
We had the same professor.
That's Dr. Fontaine. Yeah, he didn't give a crap whether or not you showed up.
Just show up for exams, is what he said. You can come, you can don't come. Just be here for the exam day.
His lectures were more entertainment value than anything. If you could stomach them.
Yeah, I almost walked out of his class one day, the day he said that Prozac was because Americans are weak and we can't handle anything. I happen to take Prozac, and I think I'm pretty strong for everything I've been dealt in life.
Excuse the vocabulary if you have a lower vocabulary, but this man is a misogynistic megalomaniac. That's the best way to describe him.
Didn't he say that 1 in every 3 or 4 people is a serial killer?
Yes, he did. So we were in a class with a bunch of serial killers.
I can believe it.
Or at least has the potential to become one.
I can believe it if they took his class.
Yeah! How many people wanted to kill him?
Not us. We did not want to kill him.
No. He wasn't worth that kind of time.
No.
Believe me, he wouldn't be worth prison time.
He just was not worth getting up at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning for a lecture either, though.
I was already at school, so I went anyway.
Yeah, he was my first class.
And I sat in the front, believe it or not.
He was my first class. It was not worth an 8 a.m. lecture to get up.
I regret choosing to sit in the front.
My biggest problem with him, and I'll get back to Pensacola in a second, my biggest problem with him is he loved talking about animal testing and conditioning, and he was a psychology professor. He loved talking about how to condition animals to do what you want them to, which I see as animal torture.
Well, he didn't. He focused on, like, the science of it, but he didn't really talk about doing it.
No, in my class, he talked about doing it.
He was different in every class. I've heard so many stories. I swear to God, the man's personality changes semester by semester.
In my class, he, thrived on talking about how much you could train an animal to do what you wanted, and how if you just did it over and over, they would eventually learn. And it's like, that's torture. Who cares how fast the rat can run the maze if you're going to poke it 1,000,000 times to get him to do it?
Yeah.
There's no point in him running it because you take away the reward.
Right.
Anyway, back to Pensacola. I had... Oh, there's so many stories. I don't want to make this a long video. Sorry, I'm having trouble thinking. I've blocked a lot of it out of my memory just because
I can understand why.
it was hard. But I had one instructor humiliate me in front of the entire class. Any of you with children, any of you who are teachers, any of you who have any sense of common decency, no, you don't do that. And I had misspoke in a presentation, and he called me out on it in front of the entire class and said I was doctrinally incorrect. Any of you who are religious know that's a really big thing to say. And we were in a class that taught that if you taught the wrong doctrine, you basically were better dead.
Ugh.
If you caused a child to stumble, the Bible verse is if you cause a child to stumble, it would be better to have a millstone tied about your neck.
So no mistakes, got it.
Yeah, and to be called out doctrinally incorrect in front of my entire class was very hard. I left the class in tears. But I think the most traumatic thing that happened there was the so-called therapist. She was an English professor, but she was the therapist they required me to see. They would not allow me to see a secular therapist because who knows what ideas she might put in my head. She compared me to the prophets of Baal. So, again, if you're not religious, I'm sorry for all these religious references. But she compared me to the prophets of Baal and basically told me that if I kept self-harming, I was going to hell. That was the interpretation I got from it. If that's not what she intended, I'm sorry, but that was the interpretation I got. And for a student who's already having psychological issues, has already overdosed on a medication, to tell them that is the completely wrong approach. Yes, while I was there, I overdosed. It was not to kill myself. I was on the wrong dosage of medication, so I was playing around with my own dosages.
Ooh.
And I took too much. So I learned the lesson the hard way about self-medicating.
Good idea.
No, it's not a good idea. Lesson learned. So my only advice, I guess, is if you're gonna jump headfirst into a situation, whether it be a college, a job, a relationship, find out as much as you can unbiased about it before you do. Because I was listening to biased reviews about the college before I went, and like I said, I've blocked a lot of it out because it was traumatic, but I still have nightmares about it. I still have
Believe me, I
nightmares about
totally
that
get
place.
repressed memories.
I choose not to try and resurrect them either, because there's no point in it.
I did resurrect mine because it was the only way I could work past them, but
there's no
if
point
you can
in
live
me.
without doing it, I have no...
There's no point in me resurrecting these memories. What I'm
Yeah, you
telling
can't do anything about them.
What I'm telling you all is the surface memories, what is still there. But I went there for a year and a half, and what I'm telling you is the bits and pieces I remember, because I choose not to remember. It's easier. It's safer. It keeps me in a better mindset. And I'm happy you're not remembering. And if any of you are watching this who know me that went there with me, I'm sorry if I upset you, but I'm a lot happier now in my current church, even though you consider it a cult, than I ever was there.
That's one of the jokes I have with her.
Yeah.
I call her a cultist.
Even though you a cultist for diamond painting.
She knows I'm not serious, though.
I do.
I respect her and her need for a religion. I have nothing against it, as long as she doesn't, try and rope me into it.
And I don't.
And she doesn't.
I'm happier in my religion.
And I am happy without a need for religion.
And so that's all. I do want to say that my whipping chats are going to become fewer and far between than they already are, because at this moment the plan is for me to start a full-time third shift job next week. So I'm hoping to do at least one more whipping chat this week, but after that I'll be sleeping a lot during the day. And I'll be awake in the mornings, and my roommate's not a morning person, so there won't be any whipping chats in the mornings. Unless
you can record one.
Unless I was say, let me finish. Unless I do them by myself.
And she really doesn't like to do that.
Unless I'm manic. Then
I gave up on my YouTube channel because my daughter moved out, and I just really didn't like doing it by myself.
So anyway, all, I hope you find this a little entertaining. It's kind of sad, kind of entertaining,
You should title it Life at an Extremist College.
Maybe I will. So I hope you all are having a great weekend and safe. We had tornado warnings here, so I hope everybody's safe and not in extreme weather. Have a great night, and I will see you all in the next whipping chat. Bye.